Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Trade the Chain. Thank you for joining us. Ryan is off today. It is July 20th. It's Tuesday, and I already feel like it's a long week, to be honest with you. Our friend Rob over at Digital Asset News tweeting out yesterday, oh, here comes the dump after cheering that there was no Sunday dump. But we did get one Monday, and we are still in the bearish market today. The big thing is Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gone below the crucial level, which I feel not only was true support level of 30K, but also became a huge mental support level of 30K. So, one of the things that we're going to do is kind of dive into that, trying to, I always want to say we want to add some positivity to your day, but I'm not sure we can do it. I haven't heard CJ or Monty's comments on the charts just yet, so we're going to find out what they're telling us in those little candlestick tea leaves. But thank you guys for all joining us. Obviously, the crew here, CJ and Monty, are crypto analysts from MarketRebellion.com, and we'll kick it off. We'll let you know where things might be headed here. Your turn, CJ.
Alex, what was that? That sounded almost like a Boston type accent. Is that New Jersey or New York initially, or where is that?
I had an interesting meeting today with another YouTuber, and he has one of those voices that's made for like radio or something like that. Kind of like Rob does, very soothing and stuff like that. So I was trying to work on my voice with him because, there's been some comments that I'm straight out of Goomba Johnny casting, and stuff like that. So I was like, so today's Bitcoin market is going to, and then it was like, that just turned into the sexy voice thing. It's not working out, but I don't know where the accent is now.
Just be yourself, Alex. The sexy thing is not going to work.
I think my wife's told me that a couple times.
So now on to the serious portion of the show. Just a reminder, nothing said today by Market Rebellion or Trade the Chain should be considered financial advice. That's why we always put this disclaimer here before we begin the analysis. All of this, guys, is for educational and informative purposes only. Also, Trade the Chain is brought to you by Trade the Chain, an AI-driven sentiment indicator and dashboard alert system with actionable alerts to help you beat the market. Now with members worldwide, I'll go down and show you guys a shot of the Trade the Chain dashboard and their sentiment indicators right here. Also, we have the relative trading volume all the way on the right side. Always love that. But if you'd like to try this dashboard, as well as access to a community of traders worldwide, go to tradethechain.com where you can get a 14-day risk-free trial. And then moving over to marketrebellion.com/crypto. This is Monty and myself and our community at Market Rebellion. And with us, you get exclusive trade ideas on a weekly basis with exits and entries and email updates throughout the week. We also have a pro charting service that I'll show in just a minute, along with weekly live webinars and education curriculum for trading. Something we continually add to. And if you guys would like to learn more about that, you can go to marketrebellion.com/crypto and try the first month for just $1. So we really appreciate that, guys. And any words, anything you'd like to say here, gentlemen, before we start the analysis?
I hope you have some freaking good news to deliver.
I'm actually not that bearish, surprisingly. I think we're hitting some critical support levels here. Everyone's talking about 30K. You mentioned it as an important psychological level, and I agree. But I think 29.6 is actually the critical level. And there's a bunch of people in the comments talking about that B-word event tomorrow and what that might mean for price action. I don't know. I think we could actually get a bounce here. And CJ, I know you were talking about a TD sequential buy 9 coming up tomorrow. That's another thing that could provide a bounce. So even though we're in kind of the midst of a sell-off, there are some things that are somewhat bullish.
All right, let's pause for a second before we get into the charts, because Monty, you bring up a really excellent point. There is that event that's happening tomorrow, which I think it's still confirmed. We have Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey going head to head in the boxing ring tomorrow, I believe, on stage. we saw what Elon Musk's tweets could do to the market back in the springtime. Let's look at some good scenarios and some bad scenarios. Is there anything that could come out of this guy's mouth? And if so, what would it be that makes the market worse? And is there anything that could come out of this guy's mouth? And what is it that makes this market better? Thoughts? This is just whatever your thought is.
I mean, Alex, there's a lot of things he could say. He could say Tesla sold all their Bitcoin. Like this is very, very wide range you're talking here.
I know.
Yeah. As long as he keeps it, I think it's going to be bullish. I think they're going to keep it macro, talk about the long-term value proposition of Bitcoin. And with Jack Dorsey and Cathie Wood there as well, I hope, people are talking about informing Elon on crypto. I'm sure he already knows plenty about crypto. He knows everything there is to know about Bitcoin. I think that people will find out that he's not as bearish as a lot of people think based on his tweets. So hopefully they can, get some bearish sentiment out of Elon. And I think it could provide actually a little bit of a bounce. We'll see.
Okay. All right. What about you, CJ? Just throw one thing out there besides Tesla.
I think they're going to keep it. I think they're going to keep it pretty chill in the sense that I like what Monty had said long term. It's really easy to focus on the long term and just acknowledge the properties of Bitcoin, which would make it successful or bullish in the long term. Of course, we've got short-term fluctuations and things and trends that are yet to be determined, but I don't expect anything, that drastic to come out of the conference. We'll see, though. I have no idea, to be honest with you.
It'd be nice. I would actually, let's see, I'd pay $14.95 if that was a pay-per-view thing to see that one discussion. But CJ, take us away to the charts. People don't want to hear our speculation anymore.
All right, will do. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Quick recap here. We've talked extensively about the descending triangle in not only Bitcoin, but also ETH and some other assets that we've taken a look at. Here we have a very strong resistance channel highlighted, not only from the moving average, but also from volume at price that's going to act as a lot of resistance. We also had a viewer just comments about the fact that we're going to get a TD by 9, not tomorrow, actually only in 6 hours. So 7 p.m. here in Chicago, we will get that new TD by 9 candle. And, sometimes those serve as reversals. And sometimes we actually see them act as catalysts in the current direction of price. So honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw kind of a further drop with the TD by 9 and then potentially a, relief rally following that by 9 up to the moving average at about 33 to 34K. And ultimately, we'll see what price does at that point, because now this level has flipped from support to resistance. So will we get a further rejection from this resistance level, or will price actually be able to, flush through it, put in a new higher low, and then continue on a more positive trend? I think there's a lot left to be determined, but that key level, once we get that 9 coming in about 6 hours, that's going to provide us with a lot more information about how we can play this potential trend. The way I'm playing it right now is I'm still short, and I'm still waiting to get this 9 here in 6 hours to see how price reacts off of it. Because while we could go down with the 9, we actually might get some rebound rally candles to follow it. Another thing that we should highlight here, wow, Silvergate's up 14%. That's kind of unusual.
Yeah, I wonder if any news has come out on that with them.
Yeah, because everything else is down. You'd have to imagine something. But I think we need to go back to this chart, because we talked yesterday about how each time we get these bullish engulfing candles off of the moving average on the S&P, everyone wants to get excited and say, oh, we're going to have a horrible crash worse than the Great Depression. The Fed is way overextended itself. But markets can remain far more irrational longer than many can remain solvent. And so I would be a buyer on a close of this bullish engulfing candle. It looks like this gap wants to fill or already has filled and wants to go back to new all-time highs. And that's probably going to be good for Bitcoin, because it's difficult for Bitcoin to rally in spite of a hard S&P. Last thing I'll acknowledge here on Bitcoin before moving on and kind of opening up the floor is I want to show a potential conjoined head and shoulders pattern. We had talked about this a little bit, and I had posted this image kind of back when price was still above 32K. We're really following this drop to a T to start. Granted, we don't have to go all the way back to the previous low of 20K. I think that's a bit excessive, but an inverse head and shoulders pattern of some sort I could definitely see be conceivably formed here based on bullish price action and what we see throughout the next few weeks, because this is already serving as a very nice left shoulder, right? It served as the right shoulder of the breakdown that we're currently seeing. So it'll be interesting, but we'll definitely keep following this chart as well. Last thing I want to mention is a new project, and I'm kind of excited about, known as Chia. And so I had a friend who told me about this project, and it was actually the same friend who initially told me to buy VGX. He's a coworker at Market Rebellion. He bought VGX when it was below, it was like 2 cents, and he was buying it. And I thought he was crazy. I'm like, why are you buying this coin in the middle of a bear market? But obviously he's done very well. And so this is kind of his next thing. And I like the selling points on it. It's a more energy efficient cryptocurrency than Bitcoin. That's kind of the goal of Chia. And, we always kind of like to laugh about how the energy concerns around Bitcoin aren't really valid. I don't think they're valid. I think the energy Bitcoin consumes is worth it. But with Elon Musk saying things to the market about energy efficient cryptocurrencies and that narrative being brought back to life, I think that could really rally Chia in the middle of a bull market if those concerns come up. But ultimately, I think the most attractive part of Chia that I like is 2 words: Bram Cohen. He's the developer. Rob from Digital Asset News always says bet on people. I will bet on Bram Cohen. I'm not buying this thing yet. Full disclosure, I have no positions in it open-wise, but I'm looking to scale in here as kind of the market keeps getting depressed. But Chia is one I want to highlight.
Well, now that you've become king of the shill along some other notable ranks, what are we talking about? First, where can you buy this thing? And 2, man, did you conjure up some old commercials in my head from the 80s, the Chia Pet?
Yeah, because it's green energy, right? So Chia, there are a couple places to buy this if you're in the United States. If you're in Asia, I believe it's on OKX. But if you're in the United States, it is on gate.io. And there are two apps I'm looking at. One is Uphold and gate.io. So I'm going to try those exchanges and see which one goes better. It's not on MetaMask. I haven't found it because it's not a... Yep, there you go. Digital Asset News.
What is it? It's built on its own chain, correct? Did I see they have their own mainnet?
Yeah, it's not. It's on mainnet. It's not on MetaMask. I don't believe as an ERC20.
Okay. Well, definitely keep us updated on that project as it moves along. How old's the project?
It's not that old. It's about. Let me see how long it's been trading for. It's been trading since July of last year, sorry. It's been trading since about May of 2021 is when it first launched on some major exchanges. So it went up over $1,000 when it was first listed on OKX.
Holy cow.
And then I think it's at about 150 right now, or let me get the exact price. It's at 177. So it's come down quite a bit, but it actually rallied a lot when it went on OKX because that was kind of like the end wave of the bull cycle. It kind of missed the last bull market because it just kind of launched at a much later stage. It launched, during the peak.
The well, when it did launch, okay, wait, hold on a second. So energy efficiency, is this something Elon Musk can get behind? Because it's
Yes.
what are they touting?
So you're gonna laugh because there's so many new buzzwords, but it's this thing called proof of space and time, and so it will use. Let me finish. It will use the empty space on your devices to be able to, mine, or they don't call it mining, they call it farming Chia. So you can do this on a computer. You can essentially mine or farm with a GPU or CPU, and it's pretty interesting. I didn't know that was possible before this, but we'll see if it gains traction.
All right. Sounds good. Monty, would you like to chime into Bitcoin here?
Yeah, sure. Because I did mention at the beginning of the show, I think I'm a bit less bearish than perhaps CJ is right now. So let me pull up my Bitcoin chart and take a look at what I'm seeing here. So I want to start by saying, if you look at just this perspective, just the last couple of months, then yes, it does look, somewhat very bearish. We're trending down hard. Prices breaking a psychologically critical level of 30K. But like I've been saying for the last few weeks, zooming out provides a lot of perspective in the sense of how much capital has flown in this space over the last few months and what sort of capital has dictated what sort of price action. Jeez, there's like a train outside my door.
What was that? Hold on. What was that?
This truck is like backing up out there. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so that was you with the backup beeps going on? Because I thought it was me.
No, I think that's me. Yeah, that's me. Sorry about that.
Just wanted to make sure Monty's okay, folks. Hang on.
I'm good. But anyway, this level right here, 29.6, I think that this could be a level where we could potentially see a bounce here in the interim, because look at how this level has held up historically. And what's really interesting is, I've seen a lot of, headlines in the last, 4 or 5 hours saying, oh, Bitcoin below 30K for the first time in a month. This is the last instance that we were below 30K. And that was just a short wick. Okay. A candle body close below 30K actually hasn't happened since 2020. We haven't seen it so far this year. This year, we've been above this level. So we're testing critical levels that we haven't seen so far in 2021. I think that this range right here between 24 and 29 is a very reasonable range of consolidation. CJ talked about that kind of inverse head and shoulders, or that, continuated head and shoulders that could possibly play out. I think that a bottom could happen here around 24K. I'm basing that off of what we saw earlier in the year, or actually at the end of 2020. It took a lot of capital to bring us to these new highs, and a lot of that was retail capital. Much of the growth that happened earlier in this part of the year was bolstered, or at the end of 2020 was bolstered by retail or institutional capital, very stable hands. Whereas from this point on, it was all retail capital that was dictating price action. So we're entering another point at which I think we can start to see some stability in terms of price, but breaking below this critical level and closing below 29.6, I think could be, very bad in the interim and could lead to a retest of 24K. But I do like the chances of this holding up, that that event tomorrow, the B word event, they could definitely drive price upward. Elon has that potential. If he makes it clear that he's bullish, it could definitely move price. But in the, long term, or in the macro perspective, I think an ultimate retest of this level, about 24K, is likely. Some consolidation in this range. And I think an indication that we're on the next leg up is still marked by a break above this 42K level. So not too much has changed in the interim. I think if you're kind of losing perspective a bit on current price action, it really helps to zoom out and just take a look at where we are at, just at the end of last year and the beginning of the year, because we are retesting those critical levels.
Yeah, I totally agree. But one of the things that's worrying me, I'll be the doom and gloom, is the fact that if we take a look over at sentiment, you could see just definitely sentiment leading price throughout the week, and then we zoom in. That sentiment is just it's not lifting off the gas pedal. So I'm concerned. I hope that there is a change of narrative when it comes to the Elon Jack Dorsey bout tomorrow. It's totally going to be about. But yeah, I'd like to see it. I'm looking at it like consumer confidence levels with the with the regular economy. And one of the things that Ryan, who can't be on the show today because he took the day off and is at the beach, is the fact that there's been a lot of narrative with institutional capital not being interested. Well, check this out. This is what's happened today, and thank you, Ryan, who couldn't be here today, for sending these over. But look at this: FTX, $900 million in funding at a round valuation of $18 billion. OpenSea, where we NFT'd Ryan's hair, or are going to at least, $100 million in Series B round at $1.5 billion valuation. Titan, $58 million in a Series B led by Andreessen's Horwitz's A16Z. Look at that, $192 million for two funds with a crypto focus. DeFi derivatives protocol Vega, $43 million in a token sale. Tell me where the lack of institutional investing is, because today those all came out today. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think we talked about this yesterday a little bit, but the institutional interest is there in the sense that they're laying the groundwork for later, on ramping of capital. The capital isn't flowing in yet. That's evident just by looking at Bitcoin's volume profile over the last few weeks. We're not getting any influx of volume, and certainly not any influx of institutional capital into the space. But what is happening is those investments laying the groundwork for later, inflows of institutional capital. Last week we talked about Bank of America. You just laid out all those, other investments. The interest is definitely there. The capital is just not flowing in yet.
Another one that we had, Alex, was TaxBit. It's a cryptocurrency tax service. I think they raised over 100 million. Well, I know they raised for sure over 100 million, but recently I think they had another funding round. But services like that are going to be essential for the cryptocurrency space, I think are attracting more of the institutional venture capitalist funds as opposed to just buying straight out cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and various others, because those are, more equity plays, I feel, whereas Bitcoin is in a clear downtrend. And I don't think institutions like that want to buy into weakness yet until the trend actually does reverse itself.
Yeah, interesting. Where's Ethereum at today, guys? I'm curious because we had that new DeFi fund announcement that we covered yesterday from Grayscale. And I think it was yesterday we covered it. I lose track of days. It's all the sun and the beach and stuff. But I wanted to see if there's any positivity happening with Ethereum because of those type of announcements, or if it's just following Bitcoin to the side of the toilet bowl.
What do you think, Alex? What do you think? I wish I had some good news for you, but
I'm just trying to be entertaining, man.
No, I got you. I do actually have something to say about ETH. CJ was talking about this, I think yesterday, maybe on the Daily Crypto Bite, or it might have been on this show even. But for ETH, I am a bit more bearish in the sense that we're just not getting buyers coming in at all. One thing that CJ pointed out was these TD sequential buy nines, and how in the last few months, even though we've been in the midst of a downtrend, they've provided some interim relief, and buyers have come in following these TD buy nines. We saw it here, we saw it here, we saw it here. But here we hit this TD buy 9 and no buyers stepped in. That for me was a very discouraging sign that even, given technical factors, that the trend was exhausted to the downside and we were pressing up against this critical level of 1850. No buyers stepped in. We continue to fall lower. And like Bitcoin, we're retesting levels that really haven't been critical since the beginning of the year. ETH could potentially fall even farther, because think about what we just talked about with Bitcoin. that was retesting levels that we hadn't seen since 2021. If we, kind of apply that same hypothesis to ETH, ETH started 2021 all the way down, all the way back here at the $800 level. A correction to this level is definitely something that's possible, but I don't think it's likely. We have some very critical levels in the interim that could hold up. This first one here, 1730, we talked about it yesterday and our consolidation around this level earlier in the year. And then next up, we have this level here at about 1300. I expect those to hold up. I'd be very surprised if we fell below 1300. But, that being said, it is very much contingent on Bitcoin's price action.
All right, very cool. And I apologize, folks. It doesn't seem to be that Monty has fully paid his internet bill this month, so it's been a little freezing up action there, but we eventually did get that screen up. Also, somebody in the audience kindly let us know what the beeping is, and that would be, I seem to have lost it there. It's the money truck backing up into CJ's yard. All right, so with Ethereum doing that, and not really good news for anybody all the way around. There seems to be a macro mini crisis happening right now. But the one upside that the one thing that's kind of positive is that 30,000 wasn't the actual true mark for support. So I'm grabbing onto anything I can, guys, and so that's my takeaway from the show today. I don't know, man. Thoughts real quick. Are we still on track for end of summer, second leg up in end of August into fall?
Yes. And I say that with confidence because you just rattled off 8 headlines totaling billions of dollars in investments in crypto infrastructure. So I think that I've been saying it, the retail capital isn't going to be the catalyst that takes us to the next level. It's going to be the institutional capital. It's not there yet, but the groundwork's being laid, so it's coming soon.
CJ?
I'm a little bit more bearish. I don't think we're going to. We'll see if we recover throughout August, but I'm not that optimistic yet. I think we're still going to be in for some downwards to just sideways price action. Monty's absolutely right when it comes to like the actual investment in the space and people entering the space. That's going to be very good for the long term. I just don't see it making that significant of a difference in the short term. Also, if I could just share this one indicator, it's kind of a interesting indicator that has been it's an interesting indicator that is kind of like all encompassing. Here we go. So this indicator right down here, it has a lot of various moving averages and a lot of various momentum indicators that are all combined into one on TradingView. And when we flip from positive to negative here, you can see that, it pretty much characterizes downtrends and how we flip negative and positive. And as you can see, we tried to fight positive back, but we just haven't really had it yet. And if we look at ETH, we've kind of seen a very similar picture in the sense that we're still fighting to get upward momentum and we just can't really do it. So that's one thing that I found was somewhat notable, but just wanted to share that real briefly as well.
All right, cool. Well, before we head out, I have to, first of all, thank our viewer, Zia. But I'm going to throw this up here. Anybody have any idea about this coin?
Not from what I've read from it within the last 5 minutes since the comment was posted.
You looked it up?
It's called Million, and there's a million USDT that's backing it. So it has to have a price of at least $1, evidently. But it is the cryptocurrency built by millionaires for millionaires. So very, very legit marketing there.
Is that really their tagline?
Yes.
So somebody put 1-to-1 USDT staking against the coin here. And so with that being said, if price goes up to $230 and now settled at $80, it's still only backed by $1, correct?
Yes.
So 79.
Million is a decentralized digital currency pegged to a minimum value of $1 with a fixed supply of 1 million tokens. So it's a stable coin that can go only up. But it's more than $1.
I'm angry I didn't think of this.
Yeah, well, so now the tagline makes sense. A millionaire coin made by millionaires for millionaires. So there'll always be $1 million worth of the coin floating around because it's backed. That's interesting. Any sort of use case proposed with it, or? I mean, this is so interesting. We're just going to give it free eyeballs right now. If you want to share their website or something for us to take a look at, just.
It's interesting. I've never heard of this coin. Here, I can share their site. It's milliontoken.org.
It has nothing on the Chia pet.
There you go.
What a cliche, the lion.
Oh, it's like a little thing off of Dreyfus or something. Interesting. All right, folks. That is that's great. But listen, if you're going to donate $14.99 to the chat, we're at least going to bring up whatever you're trying to shill. We weren't shilling it. Just remember that. All right, folks, thank you very much. We appreciate you watching. Sorry we couldn't be more exciting today with the market where it is, but give a watch to Rob's videos later. He always seems to make everybody feel good. We all just tell it like it is. Also, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that at 4 o'clock is another live stream, and that is for the winners of the $10,000 cent giveaway, which I will try to pull off on my own, or maybe with Mr. Ryan NFT Gorman. So hang on to your handlebars. Oh, there was a good saying I wanted to adopt. I was going to drop hang on to your handlebars. I was going to say, a little piece of advice, folks. There's somebody in this bear market making money. Why can't it be you?
Can we stick to hold on to your handlebars?
Hang on to your handlebars, everybody. We love you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow, folks.